In the town of Kfar Jalani, Lebanon, a somber funeral procession made its way through the streets yesterday as Jawad Yalns, an 11-year-old boy, was laid to rest alongside his uncle Ragheb, who lost his life in an Israeli strike on their family compound just 1 day prior. The attack, which occurred in the early hours of Saturday morning, has sparked widespread outrage and grief among the local community. Eyewitnesses described the scene as chaotic, with buildings damaged and debris scattered throughout the area. The incident is part of a long-standing conflict between Israel and Lebanon, with tensions running high in recent months. Looking ahead, the international community will be watching closely to see how this latest development affects the fragile peace process in the region. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has signed air defense deals with the United Arab Emirates and Qatar during a recent visit to the Gulf region. The agreements aim to bolster the security of these countries by leveraging Ukraine's expertise in countering Russian drone attacks. During his tour, Zelenskyy met with UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan and Qatari Emir Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, discussing ways to enhance cooperation on air defense systems. The agreements are seen as a strategic move by Ukraine to expand its influence in the region and share its knowledge gained from its own experiences fighting Russian drones. Looking ahead, these deals may pave the way for increased collaboration between Ukraine and Gulf nations on counter-drone operations, potentially bolstering regional security against potential threats. Senegalese players and officials were spotted parading the Africa Cup of Nations AFCON trophy at the Stade de France in Paris, just days after it was announced that Morocco would be awarded the title due to Senegal's disqualification. The decision came after a disputed penalty shootout against Egypt in the final. This move has sparked controversy among fans and players alike, with many questioning the fairness of the ruling body. Despite being stripped of their rightful title, Senegal is still participating in a friendly match against Peru as part of their preparations for upcoming tournaments. Looking ahead, it remains to be seen how this incident will impact the reputation of the AFCON and its governing body. Israeli forces have intensified their attacks in southern Beirut, sparking widespread chaos and destruction. The escalation comes amid warnings from the United Nations that a humanitarian catastrophe is looming in Lebanon. The situation has deteriorated rapidly over the past 24 hours, with Israeli artillery fire targeting residential areas and infrastructure, causing significant damage and displacement. The Lebanese government has condemned the attacks as aggressive and unacceptable, while the UN has called for an immediate ceasefire to prevent further escalation. Looking ahead, the international community will be watching closely to see how this crisis unfolds, particularly in terms of the humanitarian response and potential diplomatic efforts to de-escalate tensions. Bank of America has agreed to pay out $72.5 million in a settlement related to a lawsuit alleging the bank facilitated Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking operation. The lawsuit, filed by several victims and their families, claimed that Bank of America had knowingly or recklessly enabled Epstein's abuse through its business dealings with him. The bank's actions were said to have included facilitating money transfers between Epstein and his associates, as well as ignoring suspicious activity reports about the financier. This case highlights the complex web of financial institutions and individuals involved in enabling Epstein's crimes, which ultimately led to his downfall. Looking ahead, this settlement marks a significant development in the ongoing efforts to hold accountable those who facilitated or enabled Epstein's abuse. As more victims come forward and lawsuits are filed, it is likely that we will see increased scrutiny of financial institutions' roles in facilitating such abuse. 22 migrants lost their lives off the Greek coast after 6 days at sea, according to the Greek Coast Guard. The tragic incident occurred in the Aegean Sea, where thousands of asylum seekers and migrants attempt to reach European shores each year. Poor weather conditions and a severe lack of food and water are believed to have contributed to the deaths, highlighting the dire humanitarian situation faced by many refugees and migrants. This devastating event is part of a broader crisis that has plagued Europe's borders for years, with many lives lost in the process. The Greek Coast Guard's report underscores the need for increased support and resources to address this complex issue. Looking ahead, it remains to be seen how European governments will respond to this tragic incident and what measures will be taken to prevent similar losses of life in the future.